Welcome to the newest edition of Inside Bobcat Athletics. I'm Karina Medellin, and today we'll take a look at the upcoming Women's Basketball Invitational. But first, Brant Freeman sits down and talks to new Defensive Coordinator John Thompson.
Brant Freeman with you at the Bobcat Football Stadium Complex, and joined alongside the newest addition of the coaching staff, John Thompson, as Defensive Coordinator here at Texas State. And Coach, first off, welcome to San Marcos.
Hey, thank you very much. People have been extremely friendly and awfully glad to be here.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's kind of just talk about how you ended up here at Texas State. You were at Arkansas State the previous 2 seasons as defensive coordinator, and actually were the interim head coach for both of the bowl wins at the GoDaddy.com Bowl. So how did you end up eventually here at Texas State?
Coach Francione gave me a call. We talked about it for about a week. I twisted his arm, and he finally agreed. But it was, coaching changes happen all in the business. The new staff came in, had a defensive coordinator, so I was looking for a job. But man, I've always admired this place. Been here, coached here a long time ago against Texas State at the time. It wasn't Texas State then; it was Southwest Texas, obviously. But just happy to be here and happy to work with a great staff. Mike Schultz has been a friend for a long time. Competed against Mike and Coach Fran, and it's we're thrilled to be here.
Of course, you got a first-hand look at this Bobcat football team this past season when you're the defensive coordinator at Arkansas State. What were your impressions of that Bobcat team you saw this past November?
Tough to defend. A lot of plays, a lot of option, a lot of power, a lot of explosiveness. I mean, the second or third play of the game, they hit us for a big touchdown. I mean, on a play that I'm not sure that I had ever seen. And I know our players had never seen it, and just really well coached by our offensive staff here. The quarterback's a real good player and got some tough running backs. I know, with having Brad Bedell here is really helps me a lot, and I know we're going to be good in the offensive line. So, I know we're going to have points scored on the other side of the field. That's for sure. So we just got to do our job.
Well, let's talk about the defense then. What kind of philosophies do you have on the defensive side of the football?
Without sounding corny or anything, I mean, it's hold them to one less, whatever that means. And if we score 3, we got to hold them to 2. If we score 33, then we got to hold them to less than that. But you attack, you go after the quarterback. You got to stop the run first, obviously. You got to be good on third downs, but more important, the 2 biggest things on defense that I believe in, you got to win the turnover battle and you got to eliminate explosive plays. If you do those 2 things, you got an opportunity. Now, how you get there, that can come in a lot of different ways, whether it's pressure, whether it's the illusion of pressure, whether it's tackles for loss, whatever. But we'll see what this team can do this spring, and then we'll mold our entire package to what these guys can do. We're going to throw a lot at them, so we'll see.
Now, you mentioned stopping the run and getting to the quarterback. That all starts up front, the defensive line. The emphasis in the recruiting class this past February was the defensive line. What are your thoughts on what the Bobcats have brought in and what you have to work with now?
Well, we got some junior college guys that aren't here yet that will definitely be given an opportunity and have a shot. I've seen them on tape. They look pretty good. But the guys that we got here now and the guys that we're going through spring with, that's going to be the nucleus of our team. We may plug some holes with some junior college guys, but right now our entire focus is on the guys that are here. I think we've got some athletic people. I think we're coming off the edge. I think we're going to be able to rush the passer. I think we've got experience and playmakers at our 2 linebacker spots. Inside, we're probably undersized, so that means we may have to move them a lot and try to take advantage of some offensive rules and try to disrupt some offensive that way. But that's going into this thing, that's what it looks like to me now.
You mentioned the linebacker position. You have Mike Arakpo and you have David Mayo to work with in the secondary. You have a potential all-conference player in Craig Mager at the quarterback position. Just looking at some of the quote-unquote star players on this defensive unit, what do you feel like you have to work with talent-wise as far as guys returning?
Oh, no doubt. That'll be we're going to rely on those guys. And I think they already have. They got to buy in. It's a mixture of the things that we did last year. And when I say we, I'm talking about Texas State. We've tried to keep a lot of the terminology the same. Some of the system is different. We've made some adjustments there, but those guys have to buy in and got to communicate and got to go, let's get going. Let's don't take a step back. This defense was a lot better last year statistically than they were in 2012. If we improve, I think Craig Nyvard did a really good job. If we improve again next year like they did a year ago, we're going to be a championship team.
What are your goals this spring?
More than anything else, to come out of spring knowing who we can win with and what we can do. I want to play fast from day one in the spring. I don't want them. We're not going to just throw a lot of stuff at them and see what sticks. That's not the. We have a teaching progression. We have an installation schedule, but that may get stopped very soon. It depends on how much they can. We're going to challenge them. We're going to challenge them physically, but we're also going to challenge them mentally and keep pushing. Who can handle that? Because you're getting ready for the season also. But I want to come out of here knowing at least two deep who we can win with.
John Thompson is a winner, again, as the interim head coach to Arkansas State, won 2 GoDaddy.com bowls. Glad to have him here at Texas State. Welcome to the family.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it very much.
More coming up on Inside Bobcat Athletics.
Innovation, exploration, creative discovery. These are the trademarks of Texas State University. As the state's newest emerging research university, we're transforming your world one mind at a time. Your world, our research. Texas State University, the rising star of Texas.
Welcome back to Inside Bobcat Athletics. Women's basketball turned a successful season into a postseason bid. Brant Freeman talks to Coach Z about playing in the Women's Basketball Invitational.
Here from Strand Coliseum, we were joined alongside Bobcat head coach Zenera Antoine of the women's program as they get ready to play postseason basketball for the first time since 2008. They're playing in the Women's Basketball Invitational tournament that started back in 2009. Coach, first off, congratulations on a successful regular season, a winning campaign, a record of 16-15. You won the first-round tournament game in New Orleans in the Sun Belt tournament before coming up short against Arkansas State. Just talk about what it means to your program to have gotten the invitation to play in the WBI and be a part of playoff basketball.
I think what it means overall for the student athlete is that they've worked really hard, pretty rough in our preseason schedule, found a way in conference games, beat everyone with the exception of Arkansas State. I think it's fun because what we've done in the last 5 games, we've won 4 of those last 5, and so the team is playing really well right now at this point, which is what you want. And so you never want it to end as a student athlete. Of course, you never want it to end as a coach. So by getting the reward of being able to play in the WBI is very exciting for this team.
Whatever postseason tournament you're talking about, the NCAA, the WNIT, or now in this case the WBI, you brought it up. It's what have you done for me lately? And expanding beyond your winning 4 with your final 5, you won 15 of the last 22 after a 1-8 start. This team today looks nothing like the one that tipped off the season back in November.
I'd agree. You know, one of the things I talked to people about earlier, this team, we had 8 new faces that had not touched the basketball together as a team. And so you knew it's going to take some time. Just didn't know exactly when it was going to happen, but we peaked right at the right time, I think. I said going into February, we need to be playing our best basketball. I think that's what people have seen, and that's what the team has been able to enjoy. And, you know, we're still not at our best, but I think we're playing good enough to have this opportunity, and I really appreciate it.
You know, the conference tournament, you were dominant in the win over Georgia State, winning 78-44. Arkansas State, you struggled offensively, but defensively the effort was certainly there, gave you a chance to win. Talk about the way your team has been playing in that respect defensively.
I think defensively what they found is, you know, that's what it's going to take to be able to sustain any type of postseason play. And so as we continue forward, especially with the upcoming matchup, defense is going to play a huge role in our ability to get them stopped. They have the largest victory of margin overall in their conference. I want to say they're probably 4th or 5th in scoring, but they're also a very good defensive team as well as a very good offensive rebounding team. And so as we look forward into this postseason game that we have, our defense needs to continue to hold strong for us. We need to find ways, honestly, against Stephen F. Austin to score.
Yeah, Stephen F. Austin out of the Southland Conference, so certainly this is somebody you have familiarity against. Maybe not necessarily this collective group of players, maybe a handful though. Beyond the early scouting report you just gave us on Stephen F., what else will it take for you to win a postseason game, something that your players have not been a part of on the collegiate level?
I think understanding that, you know, not only is it one and done, but this is it for the senior class, and figuring out a way to respectively come together on the road, they're #1 in attendance, and take care of the basketball against the #1 defensive team is really what's going to take, and I think that really speaks to our overall team chemistry.
Now, Coach, something we saw in New Orleans was some changes in the starting lineups, particularly brought Caitlin Walla and Jasmine Bogus into the starting 5. Worked out pretty well for you. Is that something we could expect to see again in Nacogdoches?
You know, we have one more day to practice before we see. I am thinking about shaking it up again, but we'll really just kind of see how it all plays out. Either way, all those young women are playing substantial minutes for us. It largely has to do with the overall defensive and offensive game plan.
Again, it is the Bobcats, the Lady Jacks. The winner moves on to the second round of the WBI to face either Grand Canyon or Boise State. We'll find out how the Bobcats fare this Thursday in Nacogdoches.
Congratulations to women's basketball for reaching postseason play. Texas State baseball's next home game is Tuesday, April 1st against UTSA. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Karina Medellin for Inside Bobcat Athletics.